question that I have for all of you today is, what makes a good person? Now you may be thinking that this is a fairly simple question, and you might know an answer already. In fact, some of you might already have 5 answers that might pop into your head. You might think that it's a fairly simple question, and that it is very easy to understand and answer the question, when really, in reality, it really isn't. Being a good person, or at least this is part of being a good person, means that you are benefiting yourself in life while also helping others. That's just part of being a good person. The other part about being a good person is up for you to decide. But really, in my opinion, part of being a good person is exceeding in life. You know what you're doing. You are doing really well in work, job, school, anything that, that is being technically graded. So take me, for example. I'm in high school. I'm a freshman in high school, and, grades are nothing new. Grades are like cake. Okay, cake isn't the right term. They're more like your family. You see them every day, you understand them, you try to help your family whenever you want. Your grades are kind of the same thing. You try to help your grade go up all the time. You always are looking at them every single day. So it's kind of like your family. So that runs into the subject that I wanted to talk to you about today, because recently I had a very bad experience in my math class. It was kind of bad. Well, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but from where I'm standing right now, it's the worst thing in the world. Take a look at this picture that, I've just pulled up. And you're looking at my last test grade, and it says 56%. You might be thinking, is this even possible for Skylar? Because, he's such a smart person that I can't even imagine him getting a 56% on any test ever. And yeah, it's true. The last test that I had, I actually failed. I got an F, and normally when this happens, you are thinking to yourself, that's just one test, right? I'll eventually bring my grade back up. But really, for me, it's actually been like that for a while now. Almost all my quizzes and tests I've gotten D's or F's on. I know, I'm gonna admit that right now. All of my tests in geometry have, this semester, like just this semester, have mostly been D's and F's. Why is the question though? Why? Why do I have D's and F's? Well, really, the answer is, I really don't have an answer. I look at my test and I figure out what I did wrong in the middle of test corrections the next day I've taken the test. And it's kind of weird, I know. And for me, it's completely unnatural to get a D and F. And this has been happening the whole semester. I'm just going to restate that for you. Really, the reason why that this time, well, let's back up a second. Every time that I've gotten a D or an F on a quiz or a test in math this semester, I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll do better next time. I'll do better on my next test or quiz. But that hasn't happened. And this time when I got to this test, I knew what I was doing. I had all the formulas memorized. I knew exactly what to do. But I still ended up failing. And the reason why that was really bad is because I had a hope that I was going to do well on this test. I had studied and created a study guide for myself. The night before the test, yada, 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 I studied for 2 hours. I made sure that I knew everything, and yet I still ended up failing it. And when I found out that I failed it, I was really down for a while. I felt out of it. I just didn't feel like anything. But basically, I was just wondering why this had happened again, even after I had studied. It was really bad because my teacher, my math teacher, now he's a really nice guy. and he's a good teacher, and he hated seeing me like so. He's never seen me so like down, or I guess you could say depressed about something, and he really hated it. And he gave his help, and we went over my test and what happened in the middle of it. It really helped, but it still didn't answer my questions. For the rest of the day and the next day, I just didn't feel up to it. I could say I was a little depressed, even though I don't like saying that. But coming to it and reviewing it over the weekend and starting the new math chapter, I've just started feeling like, it's gonna pass. Like, I'm eventually gonna get over it. Because when I was, down on the Thursday and Friday, I just felt like I couldn't do anything about it. Like, I felt hopeless, helpless. I was discouraged, and I felt like a disappointment. But I was looking at it the wrong way. Really, all you need to do is keep trying. For me, trying has been always one of the hardest things in my life. It seems easy, but trying is something that can be really hard. Trying is something that you do if you fall down. And if you fall down, there's always a way to get back up. My grade currently in geometry is a C, and as the picture that's showing you right here. And I'm kind of worried about it now because this is the final semester, and I want my grade to go up to a B at least by the end of this semester, because I held a B last semester, and I'm going to hold a B this semester, because I'm not going to let it get to me anymore. You need to keep trying. The message for you is keep trying. The answer, keep trying. Never let yourself be discouraged, and never think of yourself as a disappointment. Thinking of yourself as a disappointment is even worse than being depressed. Now, you may feel disappointed in yourself, and that's natural, but that's not what I'm saying. Don't call yourself a disappointment. Don't let it get to you, even if you feel like it's hopeless or it's helpless. There's always a way. And if you end up failing or you fall down, it's okay. You can get back up. Even if it means if I have to redo geometry, which I'm not going to. I'm gonna move up the next math level next year, no matter what. And a lot of this came from my teacher. He's a really good person. I really like him. He's just a cool person in general. Like, he's not your typical math teacher. He's smart. He's pretty intelligent. And he's way better at math than me. Even though math is one of my strongest subjects, I'm currently not doing very well in it. But he's always been there for me whenever I have trouble, personally or just with math in general. So he's a good guy, and I want to thank you for that, DeLazz. You're a great person. Now remember, don't stop trying. Keep going. Move yourself forward. Don't let yourself go backwards. If you let yourself go backwards, it'll be harder to go forward. It'll be harder than ever to go forward. So remember that.